everybody, welcome in. Come on in, grab your chairs. The barbershop's open late tonight. With two very special guests who helped inspire our entire journey here are with us tonight. But to start, I was thinking of a good Halloween song. I know Douglas has a degree in theater. This is one of my favorite theatrical pieces. In fact, I was teaching it all day today. I teach it a lot during Halloween time. It is the Howard Ashman, Alan Menken classic, Little Shop of Horrors. And if you've ever seen that movie, it's just about the best movie musical adaptation ever made. And I thought a little bit apropos that I should sing a song for Douglas and Fran today that have to do with a man-eating plant. So it goes like this. I've given you sunshine, I've given you dirt, you've given me nothing but heartache and hurt. I'm begging you sweetly, I'm down on my knees. Oh, please grow for me. I've given you plant food and water to sip. I've given you potash, you've given me zip. Oh God, how I missed you. Oh God, how you tease. Now please grow for me. I've given you southern exposure to get you to thrive. I've hit your back hard like I'm supposed to. You're barely alive. I've tried you at levels of moisture from desert to mud. I've given you Growlites and mineral supplements. What do you want from me, blood? Ow! Darn roses, darn thorns, clumsy me. Oh, hey, look, you opened up. I wonder what made you do that. I think I know what made you do that. Well, I guess a few drops couldn't hurt as long as you don't make a habit out of it or anything. I've given you sunlight, I've given you rain. Looks like you're not happy unless I open a vein. I'll give you a few drops if that'll appease. Now please, oh please, grow for me. And if you saw the movie, my apologies, that is not the real ending, but you'll have to look that up. It does not end well for anybody. Good evening! Yay! Welcome to our Halloween Live here at the Barbershop Duet. We're so glad to see you. We've taken a little time off our YouTube show to come over here and open the barbershop late and welcome in some new guests. This is my beloved Sarah Vincent. Welcome.
AKA Waldine for the evening.
Yeah, where's Waldo? And I think I am the Cubs player who played for 60 years and died before they ever won the World Series. That's who I'm going with.
And Lainey's attempting to be a butterfly. She may fly away.
Butterfly. She was a caterpillar last year, and now she's a butterfly. So let's see if this works. Do we have a request to join us live here?
We do. Let's see.
Ladies and gentlemen, Instagram, please welcome in Douglas Smythe and Francis Towle.
Stop!
Hey! Stop! You made it!
Oh, hey guys.
Hey, you guys, how are you? Welcome in.
It's good to be here.
Yay! Hopefully we don't drop you.
Is that better?
Waldo.
You did it!
How you guys doing?
You two, we're doing
Good.
fabulous. And you two, I know I tell you this on your birthday, Douglas, but I will say it again. You are the reason we started the Barbershop Duet. When we were brand newbies and we picked up our razor, and I don't know if I ever told you this. I know, but it was out of pure spite. My cartridge company sold me 2 handles right before they switched them, and so I picked up my DE razor, and when I went to YouTube to figure out how to use it, nobody was as excited about the razors as they were about the Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements soaps. So unapologetically, you two are the reason that this show exists. And thank you for bringing us into this world. Thank you for giving us this wonderful project to do together.
Unimaginative soaps to explore too.
Thank you for never, ever disappointing. And thank you for being so supportive of our show from the very beginning. So my first question for you is
jumping right in. Hold on one second. Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, get comfortable.
Yeah, right. Stretch it out.
Okay.
Do the neck roll.
You know, and happy Halloween to everybody. This is the best time of year.
Agreed.
Make every day Halloween. Keep Halloween green. I don't know. Keep good.
It counts.
And
Cheers,
Fran,
folks.
it's so nice to talk to you. It's
I know.
not very often that usually Douglas deals with my insanity. So it's nice to see you and talk to
Trying
you.
to move the camera so I can be
I think
there.
you're good here,
Okay.
Yeah, they need to figure this part out because it's like, how do you do this? It's like it's so like anticlimactic. It's like, oh yeah. Then when it comes to like
Right.
day of, you're like, oh, I'm
I
doing
know.
this. Like,
After we have 1,000 subs, YouTube will let us do it. So we'll switch over there after
We're getting close. but
we
not
get
yet.
our 1,000 subs.
oh, that's how they're doing it now.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I know.
There's other
But that's okay. At least we have
platforms though.
this.
There's
I
other
know,
platforms.
I know. Yeah.
But
Well, well tonight we have this, so I will dive in.
no,
here if
I
we
will
can
not do it on. No.
And Douglas leaves. Thank you, everybody.
Sorry, I had to
So-
get my chicken. Go on.
Okay, so my first question comes from an observation from Lee Noons, your friend and mine, and he was on our Rabid Banana episode, and
yeah.
Lee mentioned, and I thought it was Nunez, but it's not. He told me it's Lee Noons. That's how it's pronounced. And he
It's-
said,
Portuguese. It's Nunes.
Right.
It's Nunes.
And-
Listen out.
and he said on the show that he used to hate mornings. It was the worst part of his day, and now it's his favorite part of the day. And you two, I don't want to understate what an amazing thing that is. So our first question is,
we make morning people. I like
yeah,
that.
it's-
Phoenix Shaven.
how did-
We make morning
Right.
people.
There you go.
well, and really, you made times that aren't happy really happy. In fact, you made times that generally aren't happy his favorite times. So our first question is, how did you two do that?
Yeah. I did a lot of drugs in the 90s. That may
There it is.
Well, there you
not
go.
have anything to do with it, but we like to blame Mozart on that.
Okay.
Yeah. Hi, Mom.
Yeah.
Proud you must be. No, how we did that, I don't know how we did that. I can't actually take any responsibility for that at all.
I don't know. I might beg to differ.
I don't think it has anything to do with me. I mean, I've the most that we've done is given men maybe permission to have a good morning or to be a morning person or to treat yourself right, to treat your skin right, to think about things a little bit differently, not make it so, I don't know. I think it's more of again, I think it's just about giving men permission to pamper themselves, I guess you could say.
Yes,
and
and
that's going to
TLC.
happen in the morning.
Yeah.
So our next question, either of you or both can answer this one. To jump into the PAA folklore, let's begin with its common thread, the cube. What is it, and where does it take us?
Oh God, you guys. Okay, you want to know who Cube is? Is that the question?
And you don't have to expose any trade secrets, but we are curious.
Oh, Cube is an interdimensional being. I mean, that's the most I can get out. He doesn't really speak in words. It's more of his telepathic relationship we have going on. Right. But no, he travels through many of the dimensions. I think he's been through at least 18 dimensions. I mean, if you subscribe to string theory and whatnot, maybe only 11. But yeah, he moves through dimensions, time, space, forwards, backwards. He can be in a few places at once, in fact. He's a pretty magical being. He knows more about us than we know about him is what it all comes down to at the end of the day. Yeah.
Okay. There we go.
I hope that answered the
Well,
question.
I wonder where is Cube right now? Where?
Well,
Dimension 11 probably.
He's always watching. He's
Yeah,
hovering
we are
somewhere.
told Dimension 11 is where it's really at.
He's possibly as far as 7. It's Dimension 7. He's probably in. But no, usually he's with Huxley over here. But he doesn't. It's just Huxley snoozing.
They were
right
just asking about Huxley.
Right,
in the
yeah.
chat.
Hey,
were
they are
just
hoping
asking.
Huxley will make an appearance.
Well, he is
So
here.
one of the-
He's here.
Oh,
He's accounted
nice.
for.
We can
Yeah,
try
yeah,
to lure him with cookies.
It's gonna be tough to get rid of him though once we get him in the picture. So maybe we'll wait a little bit.
He can
It's
have
a
his
little-
finale bow. I think.
Yeah.
It's a little past his bedtime, so he's a little slightly confused.
Yeah.
But
Right.
yeah, he is here with us.
One of the first pieces of advice you gave me, and it was awesome, was if it's a scent you're really curious about, make sure you either sample or grab the splash, because in the soap, the scents are a bit one-dimensional, and in the splash and the EDP, they become three-dimensional. Can you explain that? Because boy, were you right.
Well, I mean, it really comes down to the matrix, what the scent is suspended in. So with alcohol as opposed to the soap, it gets to live its entire life as a scent or a fragrance. where you're cutting it short when you rinse it off your face and you're done with the shave. Then there's the alcohol effect with the dry down and whatnot, which lifts it up into the air. It also mixes and mingles with your own personal body chemistry in a way that it can't do with shave soap. Just doesn't get that close to it. It doesn't bind with it as much because it doesn't have enough time to. And again, it's suspended in oil, which would speed up the process rather than, with alcohol, it's the perfect dry down time. Well, it's a perfect situation for a container for a dry down or a vehicle for a dry down. The conditions are perfect for that. So there's that. It also, again, intermingles with your own body chemistry throughout the course of the day. And even like your diet can affect the way a scent smells on you from one day to the next due to how your body metabolizes food. Like garlic, you can smell, it metabolizes through your skin. So keep that in mind. A lot of people need to keep that in mind when testing out scents for the first time. Like if you're at a big Italian dinner the night before and you're not enjoying the scent the next day just to try it for the first time, it's like... People don't think about these things. People also don't wear the scent. They just sniff it out of the tube or the bottle, and you need to wear it because you're part of that scent. So don't skimp on these things.
Right.
I guess,
right.
Did that answer the question?
It does.
Okay.
And it's why we actually added a section to our show where I come back after I've used it for a couple of weeks and briefly talk about it. Because I know we have a first reaction show, but it was because of you that we realized, it is important to at least mention what it's like after we've used it for a couple of weeks. So that's why we put that whole section in.
Yeah, it's
here we go.
Very, very important. Like people, you gotta. I'm trying to think what I used to say. A friend of mine used to have a saying about that, but like you just have to know it before you, really come to any conclusion. Right. And that's why I don't really care for like videos that are like fresh out of the box. My opinion. It's like I don't really care what your opinion is fresh out of the box. That doesn't mean anything to me. It's what's your opinion after a week of wearing it, or a month of wearing it, or 6 months. Like that's more important to me. But like your first time on a motorcycle is not going to help me choose a motorcycle or buy a motorcycle. You're like, I'm not going to you for advice in that regard. So yeah, you gotta. It's different. Stuff out of the box videos are great for like packaging when it comes to like Apple products maybe or something like that, but when it comes to like a soap or a chemistry where you really need to spend some time with it to learn it, to let your brain learn it, it's a whole different animal. So those videos, again, while marketing on YouTube, it works in other departments, it doesn't work in the fragrance world. I don't think so anyways, in my opinion.
Yeah, we've noticed too that it takes that I don't really like pass judgment on that section until my memory can recall the scent, and that takes a while. Yeah. To put that
learn it before you burn it. You got to learn it before you burn it. And you see that too many times. People rush to like groups and forums to like trash something. It's like, dude, like you didn't even you haven't even really got into the day's not even over yet, and you're talking about the fragrance like you know it. And it's no, a fragrance is like it's a 3-act play. It goes through different stages. Different characters come to the forefront and back. I mean, there's a supportive cast as well. There's often a chorus. There's some call and answer. I mean, there's really there's a lot going on. That's why we speak of scents in notes, because it's musical. You know?
Right. Our next question from Sarah, I'm hoping will lead to a plug for your I'd Lather Be Shaving podcast. Okay.
So you're known for the guru when it comes to shaving innovation. Will you please describe us with the goofy hand technique and the often whispered about Lazarus method? And can you tell us a little about Lather Be Shaving podcast for our people on here that don't know about such things?
Well, thank you for bringing that up, because I think there's a lot of noobs out there, which is awesome. I love noobs, but a lot of them don't realize like past shows that they just they were still using cartridge razors, or they were knee high of I don't know. But the fact is, I'd Lather Be Shaving was a show that Matt Pisarcik and Matt Pisarcik of Razor Emporium, did many years back now, and we tried to cover the history and the mystery of traditional shaving. We would feature, vintage razors, vintage fragrances, and wacky history, and often like something like physical challenge. There was what was that Nickelodeon show with the physical challenge?
Oh, Double Dare.
Double Dare. There's a Double Dare element to it. It was a lot of fun filming all those things, and that was great too, because it was being produced for us, so we had a crew there, so we had barely little. It was awesome. We could give it our all rather than like sweating and slaving over the post-production stuff that I would traditionally do in the past. So I get more time to write stuff and more like you can see it all working. And so yeah, if you're new to traditional shaving, and again, thank you for this opportunity, guys, to broadcast this. But check out I'dLatherBeShaving.com, and it covers just a whole. I wish we were still doing it. It just came down to a time thing at the end of the day. But yeah, that's I'd Lather Be Shaving. What was the other other part of the question?
The Lazarus message or
okay.
the goopy hand technique?
Okay. Whew. Okay. The Lazarus method is when you leave your soap in the brush rather than immediately cleaning your shaving brush out after using it, which you would do traditionally maybe when it comes to using a real animal hair brush. You want to keep that thing clean. You don't want it to get all nappy and happy. So you want to, clean that properly. But with synthetic brushes, you can actually leave the lather in there. You can actually do this with some animal hair brushes as well, just not too long, or you don't want to make it a habit. And that's more to get rid of the fragrance, the effluvium, if you will, that comes on most new brushes, animal hair brushes, that is. That first week can be trying. And so to speed up the process of getting rid of that stink, if you will, is you would leave the soap in the brush for a few days overnight and then rinse it out, and hopefully that'll take care of it. And it usually does. But with the Lazarus method, that's really about getting the most out of your soap. Now, I know we all have enough soap to last our entire life, our children's entire lives, and our children's entire life. Soap's going to remain in the family for a while. It's like, are they new soap or old soap? No, they're totally old soap people. But yeah, so you would leave to get the most soap, because we are all, how would you say, hoarders in that regard when it comes to reclaiming soap at the end. You see people talking about, like, how many shaves can you get out of one blade? They're talking about a blade that costs 12 cents. I try to push it for at least 100 shaves, and it's like, guys, throw it out after 1 or 2 shaves. Like, there's a reason. And it's the same with soap. If you do, though, if you're trying to hold on to that one soap, you love the fragrance, you want to push it for as far as you can, leave the soap in the brush, especially if it's a synthetic brush. Don't rinse it out at the end of the shave. Just resurrect the soap with a little bit of warm water in that brush in a bowl. You can whip up another probably 3 passes from that, sometimes more. A little bit of soap goes a long way, and I'm speaking on for our formula, CK6, but there are other artisan soaps that will do this as well. But yeah, it's really it's about bringing the lather back to life that's contained inside the knot of that brush. Right. And people are shocked by that. And and to piggyback on that, just a few swirls on top of a soap is all you need. You see people jamming the brush in there, which can also damage delicate animal hairs as well if you're loading it like you hate it. But yeah, just a few swirls on a clean brush and a little bit of water, that goes a long way. The reason why we call it wet shaving is because of the water content. And so the more water, the better. Really, you want more water than soap with a lot of artisan formulas. Right. When in doubt, add more water. Right. So yeah, just a few drops of water on that brush will bring it right back to life, and you get another shave out of it.
Nice.
Now,
Cool.
This question is for Fran. When Douglas was in Spain, I got to email Fran a few times, and I threw in a few bonus questions. And one of them that I was talking to her about was how you guys create vibes, like the beach. And for me, maybe I'm crazy, but those vibes that you create are such a world away from anything you would find in the frag world. And so, Fran, can you talk to us about how you create the vibes? How you create those shaving soaps that just give a feeling of being somewhere or sometime?
Yeah, well, they're always, for the most part, they're inspired by our experiences of something. Like we might just be walking around somewhere, or we might smell something. I mean, this might happen a lot in a grocery store, or old products, or you're in an antique store and you kind of just it's
an atmosphere.
There's so many different scents that old things have, even though they're not supposed to smell, that stuff like that. I think I mention Aloha Smackdown all the time, because that one for me just reminds me of my grandma's house, because she would always have Hawaiian punch everywhere. She'd have these big metal cans of it, and just sort of all stacked along the sides. And for me, that's just a really nostalgic thing. And I don't know, I love thinking about the 80s in particular. Being a kid, and so much of my childhood was just about all the different sense of things and the world around me, and that was an important part of it. So we find that a nostalgic sense, be they nostalgia of a time when we were kids and there was a scent, or something like the beach, or even gourmand scents that just remind you of food, they just evoke emotion. And so for us, it's just it's a part of life, and I think that the benefit is that we can now when we have this like experience where we feel like almost transported, we can ask ourselves if we want to make a scent out of it, if we want to actually create that. And that's the fun part of it. I mean, I think we all kind of have these experiences. We just get to like, create that in a way. And I think that's really exciting and tends to just make, it's different. And I think, for a lot of people, like it's, it makes some of the things that we offer like just fun and whimsical and approachable, and just like it adds a little element of kind of like whimsy in a sense, but
It's magical.
Yeah.
Like you're evoking something. Like, I mean, there's a Harold and Maude thing going on too, I guess. I mean, there's a lot going on in that, but for anyone who caught that reference, but yeah, evoking it's scent collage, if you will, and
there you go.
or a smell track to your life, and or a smell track that you heard with your nose many years back, and it's about recreating that moment.
Yeah,
creating a certain
we love that factor.
Yeah. That's what brought us in.
Yeah.
My dad just moved to Idaho, so when Mom passed, I got him a set of this so he could remember what it was like to live here in California.
Perfect.
It's those little things that like bring a tear to his eye.
Well, you know what?
It's like that.
It's funny too, because we did an event many years ago, and we made this joke scent called Big Baby that recreated the scent of baby powder. Did I tell you the story? Did I tell you?
No, but I've heard about it. Everybody wants it.
It was such a big. It was so fun. I was like, who's gonna want this? This is such a joke. And even on the label is like, it said something like, and it's like a dude wearing a diaper, like just when she was starting to understand, like the hobby. And anyway, so I put that on the table at this event, not thinking anyone was going to gravitate towards it, but the biggest badass men were walking. What's this one? This one's great. Hey, smell this. I need this. And it's like,
Right.
it's baby powder, man. So
There you go.
you're hitting them somewhere deep down inside, I suppose. But
Yeah.
it's funny the effect that can have on people. And I
Right.
think, back in the day, people were looking for more fine fragrances or musky stuff. There was no like almost sense of humor to the hobby, and like so. Again,
You guys definitely bring that for sure.
Yeah.
just give permission to like have fun with it. Like it was so serious
Right.
before. Like even the labels were so like clean, crisp, and it's just like we got mocked. I mean, we got made fun of so hardcore back in the day for.
Oh, we do too.
Yeah.
For some of the questions from our audience, they already were mentioning all of those
Yeah.
things, so they're very happy that you do those, which is good.
Yeah.
But
I am too.
think
Well,
we've asked
they found us. It's like I think it was Alan Watts. Someone said, "Find the others," and that's what happened eventually. When you feel like you're alone in the world, just wait. They'll find you eventually. They're out there, And,
Yeah.
yeah, thank God.
So I think we've asked you this maybe separately, but for our audience to hear, before we love to answer what you said, but what is the hardest scent there is to recreate for each of you? If you had a scent that you've always tried, or it's really hard.
I remember your answer, Douglas, if you want me to tell you.
No. I know what it is.
Yeah, what's your answer?
It's cucumber.
No.
Oh, a pickle.
No?
Mm.
I love this answer.
One of mine was
Ditto paper or comic book paper?
Oh yeah, ditto paper is a real bitch to try. Like I'm still working on that.
See?
But we've seen Fast Times at Ridgemont High. We want our ditto paper splash.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's good stuff. I mean,
so good. Yeah.
I want that. Or I want like a real newspaper, crispy smell, or a real comic smell. It's tough to really get that because a lot of these like aroma chemicals are probably just bad to put back up your nose.
Oh.
So
Right.
So it's about combining different natural derived scents, hopefully, to recreate these things. So it's a lot of trial and error, especially if it hasn't been done. So yeah, that's what we're always working on. With cucumber, though, why I bring that up is it was years ago. I thought maybe it was you. I told this story. I was trying to make a mentholated, refreshing cucumber scent, and what ended up happening is when it all was said and done, it smelled like a gherkin pickle. It smelled pickled because the alcohol content. Well, menthol is an alcohol, right? So
it pickled it.
It pickled it. Like for my nose, friend. It was so. Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah.
That's
So
brilliant.
I can't do
Life.
but I would like to do a mentholated cucumber scent, like a really clean mentholated cucumber. And I I can't get there because it keeps pickling it, turning it into a pickle. That's some type of weird dream of mine. I don't know why. So that's what I thought you were getting at. I guess it wasn't you though.
Does Fran have one that she's been always trying to conquer?
Yeah.
It seems out of reach.
I think I don't know that I've ever been 100% like totally satisfied with coffee.
Coffee, yes. Coffee's a real tough one.
Yeah.
It always has something about it. Like, I think we've gotten really close, but I don't know if it's like the bitter,
Straight coffee.
if it's like
Yeah.
the bitter or the dry aspect of it,
Right.
or something
It's either
like
too bitter or it's too much hazelnut in it. It's too
Right, it
spumonious.
it ends up getting, because stuff like that can end up like way too sweet, or
Or creamy.
it just doesn't.
Right.
It's like it doesn't all come together.
Right.
It's like you have the scent and then it kind of drops off in this hard way and it doesn't work. And so we're still tinkering.
And that's why we typically blend coffee with other things, or coffee with coffee with coffee. Like Spring Heel Jack there was so much raw coffee in that, including caffeine. But it's just, it can also smell burnt, like burnt coffee too, or old coffee.
Right.
It's really tough
Right.
I guess.
Like, it's not the cup of coffee I drink in the morning, and I think that's
Right.
kind of what I'm looking for, and
Right.
and it's just not there. And I don't know, like, if it's because it has to be releasing all those little volatile
Yeah, it has to be
compounds right at
captured in that moment, like when fixed. It has to be fixed
Yeah,
at the end of the day.
that's the challenge.
And so
Right.
that is a
Right.
challenge.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Along with the original scents, you are also known for creating some of the most phenomenal homages in the business. How do you decide when an aftershave or a cologne deserves an homage?
we consult the oracle.
We-
Not everything we try works out that great in terms of, we are trying to, like, do an homage, so it has to actually, like,
we have more misses than hits.
it has to
that
come
you'll
out.
ever know about.
Yeah, it has to come out good.
Right.
And I think it
Except
has
now
to,
you will, but
we like, obviously, like, we want to do stuff that's beloved but not available really that
Right.
much, or it's hard to, or it's just very expensive,
or something that we like. Sometimes you can be like working on like 10 things, but if one new thing you just bought, like, or new old thing that you just bought, jumps out at you, you're like, okay, stop the presses.
Yeah.
This is what we're working
That's
on now.
true.
We like stop on a
Right.
dime. Like, there's nothing. We just work differently. Like, there's not like we're working on this one task right now. There's many things going on at the same time. It's it's easy to stop, pivot, and so when the spirit moves you, you will go in that direction, I guess, is what it all
We get a lot of people contact us every day with requests. So
every day, all day long.
So we just, we don't mean to not do the hundreds and thousands of things that people have asked for. We add it to a list. And some of it is like demand, so if we do get a lot of requests for something, we'll try it. But it just has to, I don't know, there's like a little X factor in there that, we can't really like explain.
Yeah,
It just
it has to be timeless and have a certain je ne sais quoi.
Right.
That's French.
In your lane.
Yeah.
So there isn't a path, one path. There are always different little journeys that we take with any scent that we do, and the homages are, no exception.
That's typically what I mean. Like, when I sit down to do something, it never gets done right. Like, even though everything's there, it should be getting done right. But it's like, when I'm not trying to do that is when I hit the target, and that's just how it's always been. And I
Right.
think a lot of creative people can relate to that. And
Right.
yeah.
You
do
once
you
very
think
wisely called each other an incubator for good ideas. So I kind of love that. If
I
you're
said
working on
that?
something that you did, I kind of love that you might be working on something, but if the cube gets in your way, you're going to follow it.
Yeah.
So
Every time.
Yeah.
Just to say it another way, I kind of like that. So this kind of segues into this question. Fran, you mentioned once that if someone was going to start a podcast or someone was going to even make a soap or something, to make it indicative of who they were as a person, to bring some of themselves into how they were doing it. And that is kind of why we decided to do our show behind my piano from my vocal studio where I teach from. Like, this is just where I spend most of the day anyway with my students. So why not just bring Sarah here, keep it a music studio, but So it really was sort of our personalities, and we never plan what we're going to say. We basically shoot live, and I edit out the stammers. So, we really took that advice to heart, that we really needed to make this podcast ours and how we look at this world. And so I kind of want to ask you two, how, with all of the amazing Phoenix folklore and all of this amazing mythology that surrounds it, how is it indicative of your personalities? I'm going to turn the question back on you.
I mean, the answer is kind of in the work, right? I mean, the proof's in the pudding. I mean, everything that you see in there swirled together, and it's not like it's not like mixing all the Play-Doh together and it comes out one color. Like, you can actually still see all the different colors in there. So I think.
Okay, so
unless I'm missing.
So going back to how you explained, just sort of the presentation of your show and how it represents who you are. We didn't, and we started all of this. We didn't have like a super clear idea of any of these things ourselves. So we did allow everything to evolve. As our, relationship with each other evolved too. So I don't know that the two are, I don't think that you can like separate them out. So it's like all just one big lump of like, this is just me and my life and how we live it. And I think Phoenix Shaving, has been as much a part of, helping us define ourselves as, in these years in the last, decade plus of our lives, is it's influenced us as much as we've influenced it, if that makes sense. Like, it's this, it was this progression. It wasn't this like planned thing where we were going to, create this world. There was no like, and then we'll do this. I'd love to be shaving, and then we'll come up with these. It all evolved as a reflection of who we are, and we couldn't neither one of us alone could have created what it became. Right.
So organically,
right, and that's it. That's right. It's an organic process. Again, this is about not trying. There's a Zen element to it, and that's what I think makes us complete. Is we've taken everything we love, and put it into this, and created this unique thing. That's why, and that's what that's advice, and that's why it works for us. But that's advice I give to new artisans out there. It's like, find your own voice, find your own look, your own feel, stuff like that. I mean, there's so much to cover out there, but people tend to like put it in this little thing, and it's like, it's bigger than that. Like, my favorite color is green, and it's like, why limit yourself? You're setting your own limitations there. Like, just I want to do that, what you're doing, or I want to do, I want to be Tori Amos. I don't know. And it's like you don't need to. You can take inspiration from other places and other people and other situations, but like. You can, the canvas is yours to create what you want. And there's so much space to play and have fun. And when you're yourself, it's stronger. It comes off stronger because it is stronger. Right. It's realer. And people, whether they're consciously connecting with that or not, it's hitting them somewhere. They're understanding. It's, there's it resonates with them. I think. So like, what else? What were we gonna do? You really again. We were making up. There was no blueprint. No one. We were one of the first 5 artisans out there. Like, no one else was really doing it. I mean, there was no recipes online for soap. Everything was
which was kind of awesome.
It was
because there really wasn't there wasn't
Clean
really
slate.
a whole lot to draw from. So we were like, okay, we get to just it was a perfect. Like, being in that space where there isn't a lot of guidance, it was, for our personalities, great. Like, we're just super.
That's so awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
That's when you started. So the moment we tried our first razor, we never went back to cartridge, and we don't understand why the cartridge is still so popular. Will the DE razor ever dethrone the cartridge in America? And if it did, and you wrote a movie about it, what would happen?
How would it happen?
To dethrone the cartridge.
Oh.
So will the DE razor ever dethrone the cartridge? And if it does, how will it do it?
It won't. It won't. it won't. It definitely won't, and that's fine. That's mainstream. You know, like that's for the normies. Like,
There
I
you go.
mean, so I don't necessarily know if I wanted if that happened. You wouldn't be talking to me right now. You wouldn't be talking to the owners anymore, or
Right.
interacting with them on Facebook and like that. It'd be absorbed by Big Razor, you know. So I don't think it would have signs of it coming. You know, signs of it reaching next level though would be blades made in the USA. Aside from Persona, when you see new blade companies popping up in the United States that are making them themselves, that's a sign of change coming, or
Gotcha.
growth in the industry. But I don't think we're ever. I think this is always going to be kind of a nichey thing, like a really, hip type thing, and I prefer it that way.
Right.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. I'm gonna leave the shaving world for a second. Douglas, if you were teaching Sci-Fi 101 and you were limited to 5 or 6 titles, what would be our reading list?
Oh, honestly, well, Great Bradbury would definitely be in there.
The first sci-fi story I ever read was called The Pedestrian by Ray Bradbury.
Pedestrian's a great one. I mean, even L. Ron Hubbard gets a bad rap for unleashing Scientology on all of us. But his Invaders Plans, I mean, that was some really good sci-fi, and I think you got to be good at that to like create a religion that people are going to follow around it. So L. Ron Hubbard, I used to read his Decology when I was younger. So that's 10 books right there by him. This might actually, talking this out feels good, but every summer vacation I would read, one of his thick books from the Decology. I liked L. Ron Hubbard. I liked a lot of adventure stuff too. I liked a lot of fantasy. Like I was into D&D when I was younger and whatnot. So like all the Star Wars, younger Star Wars. Like I didn't really care for Star Wars as a whole, but like the supporting characters like Han Solo's, like his story and whatnot. Like I liked the side quests from the main movies and whatnot. I like the literature more than I like. Can I call it literature? I like the books more than I like the movies. Yeah. And so there's that. Let's see what else is there. There's also oh God, who wrote The Last Crusade? Robert. Can't think of his name right now.
Someone can Google it real fast.
Yeah. But anyways, he wrote
that one.
Not only The Last Crusade, actually, I think he wrote just the screenplay, but is Rob McGregor. I don't know where he is, but it's Rob McGregor. He's an awesome, awesome fantasy sci-fi writer in his own right. Now working on, at the time, this is like late 80s, early 90s, working on Indiana Jones novels. And so these are like, easily, any one of them could have been movies on their own. And he wrote about probably 5 or 6 of them. And then other writers came in after him to take on over the series. But he was the best one. So Rob McGregor, Dance of the Giants was a great one by him. That's an Indiana Jones novel from that time. Who else is there? Stevenson. I mean, there's just so much great sci-fi out there. And now it's better than, I mean, it keeps coming. It's a genre that will keep, I mean, it's predicting the future. I mean, these are futurists at the end of the day. Everything that surrounds us right now, including what we're doing right now. Before scientists were talking about that, science fiction writers were writing about that,
It's true.
So they put that in the minds of the young scientists. So hopefully in some weird way in the wet shaving world, we're all part of the next wave of that as well. See what I mean?
See, sneaky.
I'm going to combine a couple of questions here. The sense of scent is just as unreliable as the sense of vision or the sense of hearing, because those can both very easily be fooled with illusions, optical illusions. You mentioned something on the fan page the other day I found fascinating. You said there are going to be scent notes that at first you are not going to be able to smell. You will be blind to them at first. So here's my question. Why does clown fruit no longer smell like root beer?
Yeah, because it never did, you freaks.
But it doesn't.
No.
I don't get root beer at all anymore. So tell me about that.
Your nose is becoming more sophisticated. When this is like another reason why I needed to give men permission to get into fragrances and these different things and whatnot, is to just build up their palate of what they're drawing from, because it's relative. Scent is relative at the end of the day. If all you surround yourself with is root beer and candy and stuff like that, whatever else you smell after that, you're relating to it. Yeah, there you go. So you're relating it to that. So the stuff that's closest to that is going to still smell like that to you, because that's all the only colors your nose has to work, or your brain has to work with. When you start introducing new scents, it might freak out your brain. You might not like it at first. It needs time to metabolize that scent. And sometimes it takes days, sometimes it takes months. It's more often than not months for your brain to keep working, because even when the scent's out of your nose, it's still working on it, trying to understand it. Yeah. And so that's why I would say return to that scent a month later, 6 months later, a year later, and you'd be surprised. It's how your brain now understands it.
Right.
So that's what's going on there. And the same thing can be said, a similar thing can be said about like the tools you use too. Maybe the razor you first started to shave with wasn't your favorite at first, or you got carried away in the hobby and bought other ones, got away from that one, or you just didn't like it. But your technique was bad too. Now your technique is better. Much like now your brain gets it and understands it more. Go back, revisit that old crappy razor, and you might fall in love with it. Same thing with a blade.
Right.
Never throw those blades away. Don't bin them. Don't trade them off. And if you do trade them off, at least keep one or two for yourself to get back to a year from now and see if it's changed, or try it in a different razor as opposed to the razor you originally tried it in. Like, I mean, you have so much control over this now where you don't with the cartridge razors. And, one size fits all stuff.
Right. Lee Noons has a question for you based on Michael J. Fox from Back to the Future. He wants to know, much like Michael's guitar solo at the end of Back to the Future, are there any scents that you don't think the shaving world is ready for yet, but our kids are going to love them?
There's been so many. I mean, like...
Ramen.
No, not ramen. We've probably in our time created hundreds of fragrances, and I'll be in love with a scent, but no one else is. Luckily, in the early days, that's how we started pretty much. In the early days, like, I just made stuff that I liked, and luckily other people did too. Then I was like, let's explore this more. And then you have stuff
there's a line.
Yeah, and I got a little like cray. And can I say that? Am I young enough still to say cray?
We vote yes.
Enigma Machine was one of them. I don't really know how many people, are ready for that. Rabbit Fighter. What else is there? Dixie was one. There's so many that are just like, it's kind of like when I first came on the scene, the European scene versus the American scene, like scent-wise, it was different. Like the European scene was more into florals, I found, where we were more into spicy and like, there was a little bit of crossover there, but like now it's kind of, it can become more homogenized, I guess, in a certain sense. And I think it's the same with like noses aren't ready. And it doesn't mean it's a future scent, but I think it goes back to what we've been talking about is like,
right.
With all these artists out there now, and all these like instant favorites of people, it's like, why would you waste your time waiting for your nose to catch up with your wallet or something like that? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But yeah, Enigma Machine was definitely one that I think came from the future and has returned to the future. I try to bring it back every now and then, but the sales always tell me like, nah, people just don't get this one. Yeah, even Rabbit Fighter. Rabbit Fighter I thought was going to be like this huge thing, and it was like only a handful of people really understood that one. Now though, as time passes, there's talk again, there's chatter, and that's what happens. That's why, like, with these discontinued scents or seasonal scents, we bring them out. We let it build up, like the pressure, I guess. But I mean, like, there's a lot of scents that we've done that are our children or our children's children will, I think, will fall in love with them, or hopefully. Great question.
So we have a few here that we'd like to see if you could confirm or deny for us. So we've heard that the spaceman with the sideways eyes are scents that are created by Fran. Do you both collaborate on scents, or does one of you kind of lead the way, or do you both have a say?
And is that true about the spaceman?
Yes, we need to.
We're very curious.
It was at one time. That was like, the little signposts that I put in the labels here and there, like, but it's kind of like, well, I don't know, giving you your license without sending you to driver's school, and I don't necessarily tell you what the signs are sometimes. I've gotten better at that, but like back in the day, a lot of the stuff was just inside jokes with myself, and but. Yeah, that was one thing that was like, if it was a Fran scent, he would be on there, traveling to find. There's a whole little backstory with him as well, but he's never really been explained either. But that is an easy simplification of his presence on the label. However, it's not always true. I'd say it's probably 85% of the time now, if you see him, it's a Fran scent, right?
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, but the other question, or another part of the question is, how do we collaborate on scents? Do we come up with them together?
Right.
And I feel like more and more over time, that's true. I think that we do that a lot more these days than initially.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
How does a soap make it into your permanent lineup?
how does a fragrance make it up into our permanent
Yeah,
lineup? Or
Because the beach could easily be a summer scent, but thank God it's around all the time
Yeah.
because they sing songs about this. I hope you guys.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, and I think the reason why they sing songs around it is because songs last longer than the season. So, like, you want to, cure those winter blues,
Right.
you turn the song on, or you use the shave soap. But using that shave soap in the summer is like bringing the sand to the beach. Like, why would you don't need to do that? So I think it's
That's
like,
true.
that's my feelings on the beach, though. Like, I just there's so many summer scents to wear. Like that one, I save for the winter. Like when I want to go on that, that quick vacation.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so along
Nothing
that
wrong
line-
with that, though. If you want to
Right,
use it
not
on
that
your
there's
beach
anything wrong
vacation,
with that.
by all
Right.
means.
By all means.
How
Yeah.
dare you?
So one of our viewers, Hector, would like to know what comes first. If it's more the scent
Chicken. It's
or
the
more
chicken.
the artwork.
Oh, I'm sorry.
One of our viewers, Hector, wanted to know what comes first. If it's more the scent or more the artwork or the idea.
That's it can be either or. There's like different things lead it. I mean, sometimes I will put up a crazy board on with the red yarn connecting things on the wall for the story, and then what are the scents that tie into that? Like it's really connecting the dots, I guess you could say, with all those things. And yeah, sometimes I use a dry erase board and I get really into it. Other times, maybe it's the scent that creates the story. Other times it's a number, you know what I mean? Like, how does this number relate to I saw this number earlier in the day, and you know what I mean? Like,
Well, and sometimes we are like there's a continuing story, right? That's happening,
Right.
and we don't always know
Yeah.
what the next installment's gonna be, and so like that, but maybe we have like 33 cents on the back burner, or maybe we have a whole bunch of different ideas, and we just kind of like, we have there's because he'll have ideas for stories that then. We kind of find scents that will work with that concept, and and then sometimes the artwork, like he'll go through like 7, 8 different iterations of artwork, and then like right at the last minute, I mean that's all just a process that you have that
yeah,
is really unpredictable.
yeah. You just can't punch in and start working on these things. You gotta. I mean, most of my ideas happen when I'm out in the woods somewhere too, like completely naked.
Yeah. Nice. Fran, do you share a love of science fiction?
It's growing, my appreciation for science fiction. I'm not necessarily like I don't have I read science fiction? Yes, I have read some, but no, I'm not like a huge science fiction fan, but no. But I do like,
She's not much of a reader. No.
we're surrounded by all these crazy books. So it's just, I get bored and I have no choice and I'm
There you go.
just, yes. So over time, yeah, I mean, I think my appreciation for science fiction has grown for sure. I definitely find it, I understand it better. I mean, I think there's a lot of science fiction that is in sort of mainstream media that we don't even realize like have these like science fiction origins, and it's like, oh yeah, that was really great. Like you kind of for me, I have a very like very pedestrian understanding of it all, but yeah, sometimes it's like, oh yeah, I put those things together and it's like, oh, that's a great story, that was really interesting, and all that science fiction.
Right. Yeah. Foxy Matt has a question. Is there anything about anything in the upcoming advent calendar that you can give us hints about? And he said
Green.
probably not. That's what he's expecting, but it's okay. What did you say?
Green.
Green, Matt.
That's your one.
There you
thing.
go. That was more than you thought you'd get, Matthew.
11.
That's awesome.
Green. Protein-based filament. Those are your clues.
You heard it here, folks. We will be unpacking
Good
that
luck
for
figuring
weeks
it
to
out.
come, I'm sure. Douglas, there's been a lot of talk
Not
about
hints.
UFOs.
Those are hints.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Love it.
They can
There's
start-
been a lot of talk about UFOs lately, Douglas. Do you believe in them? Are they real?
Unidentified flying objects are definitely real.
Yes. Are aliens real?
I don't know. I don't know.
We had to ask.
Yeah,
we had to ask.
Yeah.
I mean, when the Buddha was asked if aliens are real, his answer was, "I don't know."
Ah. Well, there you go. That's
Perfect.
as good as answer
That's true.
A.
Still
No,
valid.
I mean, I want them to be real. I want to believe.
Right.
If that's is that not cliche? But I need to. I mean, I've done a lot of research. I am friends with a lot of people that are. I mean, I was almost a MUFON investigator in Arizona. I'm friends with a lot of the ancient alien folks and whatnot. And while some people are very excited and passionate about these things, I just need a little more evidence when it comes to truly, believing in. But I want to, and I like to think that maybe I can manifest it if I keep.
There you go.
Making a circle of candles.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. But yeah, I want to believe. I'm always digging into it. I'm here for the history and mystery of that, and like if it ever reveals itself to me. I mean, I've had some instances where that I'm like, I don't know if that I really saw that or not, and whatnot. And knowing what I know about humans and the limited ability of our own. I don't know.
Abilities to perceive
Yeah,
what's around us.
yeah, mainframe perception. I mean, it's really, a lot of stuff can go wrong. There's a lot. It can be flawed, in this fast-paced moving world. So we can see things that may or may not be there. Does that make sense?
It
I'm
does.
not
And
totally
it's a
convinced yet.
perfect leeway into our next question.
We ask everybody this.
We ask
Our
everyone this,
apologies.
Yeah. Have either of you seen a ghost? And since it's Halloween time, it's very fitting.
It depends on who you ask. If I have seen a ghost.
She's asking both of us.
Well, no, I mean it. So in our warehouse, in our lab where we manufacture, So there are some.
It's haunted.
There are some who are convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt that will, hold up the sign and say, absolutely sure it's haunted, and it's a very old building, so. Okay.
I have cameras all around though, waiting to catch
We have
anything.
Actually, we have some pretty compelling video footage.
Okay.
We
Fun.
do, and we've had some very long discussions about this. So,
like it's just a brush. But it's floating in the air. I've had I actually just recently had one last week. Well, I didn't see it though. I heard a ghost. I don't know what I heard, but what was going on is I was upstairs and Huxley was downstairs, and he was reacting to something. He was excited about something downstairs.
right.
Was seeing something out the window, and that's typically what he does when we get a delivery. And the delivery guys love him, and they always talk to him through the window. And I could hear, "Hey, buddy," yada yada, like some guy talking to him. And I thought I heard like the vibration of a car engine or a truck engine outside, and. So this was all in my mind. I painted this whole scenario, like what was going on, with the limited amount of information that I had coming to me. And again, I was also just, speculating, I guess, with that limited amount of information. So I built this whole scenario in my head, and I came downstairs like 20 minutes later looking for the package that was at the door, and there was nothing there. There was no delivery, but I heard someone talking to Huxley, so it was weird. And then she left me for a week, so it was just me and Huxley in the house alone. And I was like,
I
oh
wasn't
God.
here.
Oh,
I don't
God.
know.
Yeah.
It wasn't me.
Neither
Like right after I told her the story, she's like, "Well, gotta go," and I was like, "Oh God, now I gotta go."
Great.
So that was the most
that is
recent.
cool.
Yeah, that was the most
Right.
recent thing, and I don't know because Huxley gets confused too. He thinks he sees stuff out there all the time. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. And
Animals are funny like that. In fact, I was going to save this for you two because you have a dog too, and we have Lainey. When my last Cavalier died, it was not pretty. She was my baby, and it was hard. And about a year later, I had a dream about her, which I don't dream that often. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Maybe she's saying hi. The next night, another dream about her. Okay, that's a little weird. The third night, same dream, except she had a little tricolor puppy with her, and she gave her a little kiss right here. I swear to you two, when I woke up, she can verify this, my phone went off. It was a breeder who said, "Hey, Marcus, I know you're looking for another Cavalier. My friend in Napa just had a litter. They have an extra tricolor girl they weren't expecting. But she has a small mismarking right here on the apricot, which is right where Abby kissed her in the dream.
So
That is weird.
So that's a little weird, but
a little too clear to ignore.
That's my dog ghost story. Yeah, sometimes it just gets a little too weird to call it a coincidence.
Oh, see? There you
go. There you go.
Perfect.
Time.
See, he wants to
Live
believe,
Mysteries
folks.
of the Unknown, my friend. This is a great
I
series.
have the National Geographic one from when I was 10. I have that one too. That is awesome. Why don't you ask this one?
Okay, so we always ask any couples that we have on. So, what do you like best about each other?
Oh my god.
The slow burn. The slow burn.
I like her hair.
I didn't think they were going to ask this question. I can't believe it. Oh gosh. So, imagine being around a machine that never shuts up ever. And every day there's like 23 at least new ideas for how to make everything better. Now, you can't buy that thing on it. They don't sell that, but that's what this is, and it keeps things so interesting and wonderful.
I'm sure.
Does this sound sincere?
It sounds sincere, but I don't know if it sounds like a compliment.
It is a compliment.
Okay.
So
Keeping life fun.
Right.
yeah, I mean, like I always say, like, you know, I'm boring, you know, in a way, because I feel like
You're not boring.
no, I know I'm not boring, but it's
Comparatively.
to be around somebody who, like, I mean, like, I've never okay, so this is really like the meat and potatoes of it, right? So I've never been around somebody who had as much, like, just sheer grit and diligence and work ethic, and every single day he's doing something, and if he has a project that he's doing or he's working on a story, I mean, I don't think people understand at all the amount of time and energy and passion and heart that goes into everything that is put out on the creative side. It's unbelievable to me. So I feel really lucky that I get to be around that and support that. And I think, like, we really complement each other with our different personalities, and it's just a lot of fun.
That's what I like about Fran, is that we do complement each other like this.
It's very motivating too. Like, it gives me a lot of permission to think outside the box and try creative things, and, you know, maybe like delve into waters that maybe before I might not have so much. You know, my background is not in, you know, soap making. I, you know, was an acupuncturist for a long time, and, you know, really love, like, biology and medicine and all of that. So, it's just really, this is so different and it's so fun, but it's great to have a partner. It's great to have a partner that you work with, so you can relate to the struggles of work and you know, with the challenges that come up there, and to be able to, like, kind of, you know, be at this stage of the game where we've been doing this now for 12 years or so. It's a gift, and it's wonderful, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Do we have some viewer questions?
Oh, wait, Douglas didn't answer yet.
Oh, Doug-
I know.
He's giving you free out.
Sorry, I didn't think
I thought-
But I thought I was
They were-
saved by the bell. I was like, how am I going to compete with that? Like,
Right?
You said compatible. Is there
Yeah.
more?
But yeah.
well, I mean, she really, and then you can flip that. Like, the fact that we just work really well together. You know, most of my life, people have said, don't work with someone you're involved in a relationship with, and yada, yada, yada. And when people tell me that just tells me that they tried that, and and it didn't work for them, because it's really a chemistry thing at the end of the day. And when the chemistry's there, it will work, and it'll work well, because my strengths are my strengths and her strengths are her strengths, and luckily they're different. So it all, you know, it works together when combined.
Yeah.
And so, yes, like she says, it's a gift. It is a gift, you know. So I don't know. When Fran came into my life, everything clicked, and it was like, okay, there's nothing wrong with me. You know, I just found that, like, you know, that
I think
complimenting.
we gave each other the space to, like, be the best, like,
that we could be.
kind of, yeah,
Love it.
like a version of ourselves. So I think that's a good thing. I think.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Here's one of our questions. The well-groomed dad, I guess this is for Doug, being a multi-talented human, do you think adding a scent DJ to your resume? I think because
What does that mean?
you were talking at the beginning about music being scent and music overlapping.
Oh, a scent DJ. That'd be
yes,
cool.
that would be very
At the
cool.
next meetup, maybe.
Can you, is that a thing? Like you can just
Well,
assign
I
scent to
did
the room?
want to start like for a meetup. I want to have like a meetup shave theme band and like cover all songs that like are
There
like
you go.
cuts both ways, or like call ourselves Against the Grain. So then maybe there'll be a punk element to it.
Perfect.
But there's
Love
so many
it.
like I don't know. Growing up as a musician, like or someone involved in the theater as well, like perfuming makes so much sense to me because of the terms they use and the way it works is very it's so close it so parallels it
It does.
it's a performance of like the aura of things. I mean the performance of the scent of a fleeting scent, like there's something tragic at the same time. Sorry, Huxley's snoring over here. Am I boring you?
Oh, babies.
He
I'm
turned
going
it
on
up.
mute. Yeah,
It's
exactly.
time.
This is how I put Huxley to
bedtime.
sleep.
It's okay.
It's you guys are in the East. I think it's late for you.
Angela asked, Yuleham, how the heck did you capture the scent of a perfect holiday ham?
I was going for bacon.
Oh,
Hey, go
that's
ahead.
what happened. See, there you go.
And you got it.
Yeah.
I love it.
And you get ham.
Well, you
That's why
know,
we
you
just
gotta
like to say-
understand, a lot of those scents we created because we had a loyalty program that preceded the one we currently have that was wacky.
Yeah.
And it was like you had to accrue so many points to I guess at the end of the day win these very strange, unique scents that again people were working hard to win, like Big Baby or Yuleham. Yuleham that's how that started. Other weird ones as well. I mean, like. But and then people would bitch and moan too, like, I can't believe this. Well, I don't want this stuff. What? This is your loyalty program? Oh my god! And I'm like, I don't have to do anything, buddy, and you're
Right.
bitching and moaning at me. But then we were like, well, wait, why are we fighting our customers here? Maybe we should give them what they want. So I don't.
Right. Yeah. Addison said, is this both your full-time jobs and focus? Addison, these are the two hardest working people in show business
Yes,
in front of you. It is their full thing. And Josue would just like to thank you sincerely for ruining all Bay Rum for him forever, because your Bay
Yours is the
Rum
winner.
is amazing. And if we had gone through this without mentioning your Bay Rum, it would have been a gross injustice. So y'all, you have some homework. Dive into the videos on YouTube. Take a look at the one of Douglas in his lab creating the Atomic Age Bay Rum, and he will explain all you need to know about it. Y'all, it is a miracle.
Some of those videos are so old though. When you go back, like watch like the Wet Shavers Round Table, or some of my older videos from they're like prehistoric now compared to like what people are doing now, like the new shave wet tubers or whatever they're calling themselves,
Right.
which I think is disgusting,
funny.
and you don't want that in your history. But yeah, wet tubers. They're just it's so much easier now. I mean, like the technology has finally caught up with what we're all trying to do. And I watch some of those old videos and I'm like, oh my god, like I don't know, no one's gonna go back and watch this stuff because it's not sexy. And
It's like historical.
it is. Now it's archival.
Archive. Yeah.
So if you're writing a
It's
paper,
vintage
yeah,
shaving
There you go.
media.
There
yeah,
you
but-
go.
Perfect.
yeah.
Right. Did you guys have any questions for us?
It is a conversation. So if you have questions for us, not that it's all angled at you.
Yeah.
We thought about this.
We actually, as I was telling you earlier, we were gonna dress up as you guys, and then you told me that you were gonna dress up as us. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool if we dressed up as you guys and interviewed you guys as us?
Just flipped it.
Right.
And the
And you
entire
just
thing
ask
would just
us
be
questions.
BS. Be like, so when did you get your start and whatnot? But okay, yeah.
I would just sit here and go, clown fruit does not smell like root beer, and I need to talk to anybody who says does.
Well, I'd like to know how you guys actually how did you stumble into traditional shaving to begin with? Like really stumble into it? Like what was your first exposure to it?
Spite.
It's true.
I used to be a member of a specific club that would give you razors for $1.
Spite Club?
Close.
Yeah.
But the handles kept breaking. I mean, you're going to save money on the blades, I guess, but not if the handles break every month.
Oh, yeah,
So I kept calling them, kept buying new ones, and finally they sold me 2 new handles, and then the next day they announced they were changing the cartridges and they no longer fit.
So
And I
this
went,
is the real
okay,
story.
Wait. Yeah, this is the real story.
Straight
So I went to YouTube and I bought a razor on Facebook and I went to YouTube to figure out how to use it. But here's the thing. This is what I saw first.
Yep.
And I went, and that guy talked for half an hour and he talked for 5 minutes about the razor and 25 minutes about this. And I looked at her and I said, wait, what is this?
Yeah, right? What
That's my
missing?
dad's station wagon growing up. I used to go to the beach all the time. Like, wait a minute, what is this?
And then
and
Fruit Loops
the
was
more,
another one?
and all of a sudden the algorithm started showing us everybody from Shaven Shack to the Cross-Eyed Texan, and we were like, "Are you kidding me?
There are tons
Is
of
this
people."
this big a world?" So, and then we kept noticing that there was just similarities with these PAA labels, and there was an excitement. And you've mentioned this before, Douglas, that you get excited when we get excited. There was just an excitement for what was happening with the PAA
And it was always
folklore.
the ones you'd least expect that would be so excited that we're like, we are missing something.
And it wasn't just nuisance like the beach. It was things that my grandfather wore. But here's the thing: it wasn't the Walgreens version of Aqua Velva that you were making. You were remaking this,
Right.
the original that my grandfather wore. And by the way, your revamp is 99% this. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So we just started catching on to all this excitement, and we realized, wait a minute, the only thing that's not really out there is a first reaction show, and maybe it's not really done right. Maybe they don't take half an hour to just, and there's nobody to discuss it with. Maybe as long as there's both of us, and we love these things so much, and we get so excited when they're going to arrive in the mail. Maybe that's something we should share if we've never actually opened one yet.
Well, and then we were having a hard time deciding which ones to order because they didn't always say the scent notes, and we would try to fast forward and find it during the shaves.
Right. In the videos we were watching, nobody would ever we couldn't really fit, because we didn't really care about the shaving part. We wanted to hear about the soaps. That's what excited us. But we had a hard time sometimes in these half-an-hour videos finding the 2 minutes where they would mention the scent notes. So we thought, wait a minute, let's create an encyclopedia.
There's a lane for us. You know?
Let's create an encyclopedia where, because the websites sometimes go away, seasonals go away. Let's create like a foundation where we spend half, like John, and it's kind of modeled after Johnny Carson, where we kind of think of the soaps as our guest. And we invite him on the show, and because Johnny wasn't maybe equally excited about every guest, but that's not what it was for. Yeah. And also, you guys, I used to drive a van for my dad's funeral home for 20 years.
That's true.
That will skew your nose in a bad direction. And
Wait, a van?
So, yes.
Filtered.
And if it was raining, you couldn't roll down the windows. And primarily, it was to and from the coroner's office. So, you guys, my nose's journey. And again, it wasn't a job I wanted. It was something my dad made me do for like 20 years. Oh, so that was a little traumatic when you don't want to be a funeral director and they tell you this guy just shot himself and you have to go clean it up.
Oh my God.
And then put him in the van and take him home. That's what I did for 20 years. So when people look at me and they go, all shaving soaps smell good? Yeah. All shaving soaps smell good.
There's something good about
because I have had some experiences that y'all have not.
This all out. We're gonna unpack all of this right now. We will fix you.
Right.
That's right.
It's been a good year.
I've heard this story before, not from you. There's been other people, like embalmers have been customers. Like, it's amazing the amount of people that are coming to. It's like. I don't know, we're the only brand they're coming to or whatnot, which makes me a little, I don't know what's going on in that. But no, there was one guy.
Whimsy, it helps.
Yeah, it's the equal and opposite fun. Driving that van wasn't fun. This is fun.
There was an embalmer that would buy our mustache wax and rave about it, and I thought he was using it on himself. He's like, no, I'm using it on bodies. I was like, oh my God. So that I started thinking, like, projecting myself in the future, like, they're going to find someone in the future and do like a test on the mustache wax, and it comes from, they're going to track it back to like.
You did it.
Yeah.
Right.
We brought, Phoenix shaving or something, I don't know. But like, somehow connected to me. I touched that. Right. My fingerprint is on the wax. Somehow, though now they can't take my fingerprint from the wax. In the future, they'll be able to do that, and this will all be tied back to me. And I did that 23andMe thing, so I know they're going to make
Right.
That's funny.
So yeah, that is pretty much our journey, and I have two little nieces that I adore, and my sister, for various reasons, has kind of imploded a little bit and doesn't really talk to many people anymore. So I'm not able to really talk to my nieces. Oh, and that was really heartbreaking. When my dad moved to Idaho with her, somehow the communication was just cut off. So a tiny little part of this also was we kind of just wanted to make a little foundation of videos of us doing things that we loved together, so that someday they could watch them and get to know
we'll come up
and get to know a little bit of who we were and what things made us happy and what things excited
how to find
us.
fun in life.
And let's face it, y'all, you knew something right off the bat, that these are that charming. These are that fun. These are that transportive. I don't know a wet shaver that isn't brought to tears with that one particular soap. You know what I mean? So the fact that you guys have devoted your life to giving us the important moments of life is really important to us. We are actors. We are a dancer. We don't have a ton of money. You know, we kind of grew up in show business. So to experience the laughter, to experience the nostalgia, to experience the memories, and
this
to have
artistry in another scent,
and with a scent that is incredibly neglected, and yet one that is most hardwired to our brains. My degree's in psychology. Scent does things that nothing else can.
Exactly.
So I love that you two have devoted your lives to giving us these experiences and making sure that if we used to hate mornings, that we don't anymore, that now it's our favorite part of the day. And you two are why. So you have a giant thank you coming from a lot of voices that we hear talk all the time.
We know you work around the clock, but it's appreciated.
Not just because you create such great stuff, but you do it with such fun and such love and such I don't give a shit. that is the magic formula, you guys,
Thank you.
because we all share it. So just on behalf of us and our little whiff pack, thank you two for doing what you do and devoting your life to it. It means a lot, and it means way more than most understand. And I think all of us here tonight share a secret. We know what these things do for us. And maybe, like you said, we don't really want to let that out of the box any more than we have to. But thank you two for giving us this folklore, these amazing products, these amazing scents, and with no end in sight. Y'all, Greenwich is causing shock waves right now. So thank you two for doing this and for spending this time with us. We very much appreciate it.
I don't even know what to say after all that.
Speechless.
Wow.
Well, thank you.
Speechless.
You
Wow,
broke
he
me.
does speechless.
No, thank
Wow.
thank you guys.
His
Thank you.
gift. It's okay.
We really we appreciate we really appreciate what you guys do too. In fact, we were watching you last night, and Fran was just commenting how well you do with the scents, both of you. To hear it from both perspectives is refreshing, from the man and the woman. You'll hear from people's significant others here and there in other videos and whatnot, but having you there, Sarah, on the scene to bookend what Marcus is going through or talking about, really, it isn't. Well, do you want to?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were watching last night your impression of Greenwich Envy, and we watch. I watch a lot of your content, and I don't. There's a lot of stuff out there, and I'd love to watch your content, which is great. And because I kind of agree with where you're coming. It's like we want to catch stuff, and I do watch a lot of people, but I do like the format and the way that you present everything, and your story, Marcus, that you shared, kind of about who maybe you have a couple different audiences in mind. That's really sweet. It makes a lot of sense. And I think that the feeling I get is that, I look at it from I'm interested to see what people want to know about my product, but I actually I genuinely like your content, and you create a real experience in the same way that we're trying to create this atmosphere with fragrance for people. And you're sharing a lot of yourselves with that. And I just feel like you create this really warm, happy, just very comforting space that is you can kind of put to the side all the stuff that's going on and just watch you guys. And it's just it's nice to just be carried through something that is going to be entertaining and warm and genuine and fun. And we really appreciate you.
Well, now you're going to make us cry.
I know. That is our goal, though.
We better hang up. This is
Well,
ugly.
we're all part of this whole current shave universe, whatnot. And this is people talk about the shaving renaissance and whatnot, and how some of the noobs want to go back 10 years. It's no, we're at the best times right now. Even on YouTube right now, there's a great group of shavers out there, YouTubers, reviewers. I hate the word influencers because I don't know that sounds so intentional, and it's no, these are people that are hobbyists first, they've been in it for a while, and now they have a camera and they're sharing that information with you. So like, it just cheapens it for me when I hear that. Like, someone called me that once. And I was like, no. I mean, like, no, not at all. So like, this is really, it's just a great time to be alive in the traditional wet shaving world, and you guys are like a huge part of that. And you guys are influencing the next generation of YouTubers and whatnot. I mean, like, there's so many important parts of the community rather than just the shaver. You know what I mean? Like, there's the YouTuber, there's the artisans, there's the vendors. We all play such integral parts, and people need to remember that and appreciate that. And so keep doing what you're doing, because do you have a monkey?
Oh, that was Lainey.
That was Lainey.
Oh, okay.
She must have known we're almost done. She just woke up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Just woke
sure.
up.
That was Lainey.
Yeah.
That wasn't our illegal chimp. We keep it.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, thank you two so much. Are we gonna get a cameo?
I'm gonna try it.
Here we go, Natty.
I'm gonna try.
Who we got? Who we got?
have
We were all a little.
puppies.
We know he had surgery not long ago. We've all been.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I know he's doing really good. He's just lazy.
Oh, that's.
He's just a little.
Oh, aren't we all except you two?
Can I?
Look at.
He might bark if she.
Are you there?
She's not always so friendly.
There he is.
Oh, there's
Aw,
Huxley.
geez,
Hey,
those who
buddy.
were wondering. There
Your blend is better.
Yeah.
We actually had a question. We had a request in the chat tonight for Huxley's Better Blend to
We
come
did,
back.
yes.
Yeah, that will probably come back at some point. That was made to complement a scent we were making for, a soap we were making for West Coast shaving.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that may come back. I think it will. People love spearmints. I mean,
Yeah.
and if you chew on it in a dark room, you see sparks.
Oh, see?
Oh,
That's a
Is that
lie.
really
Don't
true?
ever
I never
do
gonna go
that.
try
Don't
it.
ever do that.
I know. I know.
Everyone's going to go try. That's
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, thank you two so much. Maybe we
Yes.
can do this again after the new year. We'd love to touch base with you again.
Oh yeah, sure.
Get to officially meet you.
And this has been so much fun. Thank you for sharing all of your wisdom and your information and your time with us tonight.
Thanks for having us. We
Yeah.
really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And thanks for everyone who joined in tonight. I saw
Yeah, we had lots
42.
of
There's
friends.
still 42. So
Still 42.
there's sci-fi right there. That's
Hey.
Douglas Adams, baby.
Nice.
See?
Right. The answer to everything. Everybody head over to I'dLatherBeShaving.com. Check out
Or
Douglas's
Phoenix
blog.
Artisan Accoutrements.com.
Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements.com. PhoenixShaving.com, I think, works also. And we have our barbershop Wednesdays and Saturdays on YouTube. Your chair is always open. Thank you, too. We will see you soon. Have
Yes,
a wonderful
thanks for
rest
staying
of your
up late
autumn.
for us.
Yep. And happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Thank you all for being here. We're so grateful you were all here with us tonight. All of our friends, we've been reading all of your comments. Thank you so much. And we will see you next time.
Coming soon.
Oh.
Yeah!
Yay, they
You
were
heard it
asking.
here. He's coming.
Soon.